Hey guys, it's XYDI, and over the weekend I caught a little bit of a cold, so apologies for sounding a little sick, but in bigger news, Blizzard held their Blizzconline event, where we got a bucket load of information about Overwatch 2 and all of your other favorite Blizzard games. So if you missed the live streams or just need a quick recap on everything they showed, that's what I'll be doing in today's episode of The Drop. Almost every year since 2005, Blizzard has been holding one of the biggest gaming conventions year after year with BlizzCon. But unfortunately, due to the current state of the world, they were unable to have any in-person events. But that doesn't mean that our favorite games aren't receiving major updates. So in lieu of their usual conferences and events, this year they decided to hold the entire thing online for free. If you watched last week's episode of The Drop, links in description, then you know that I briefly mentioned Blizzconline at the very end as the news from the event was just starting to trickle out. But now that everything is concluded, I can actually sit down and sift through the announcements to share with you what's important. Let's kick things off with the Blizzard Arcade Collection, which includes 3 of their most classic games, Lost Vikings, Rock'n'Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. All are playable in their original form, as well as the addition of a definitive version where they have added features such as custom button mapping, save states, rewinds, and the ability to watch playthroughs and jump in at any point. This collection is available right now on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC for $20. Now let me just preface this next part of the video by saying that I am not a World of Warcraft guy, so please forgive me if I mispronounce anything or if I just sound like an idiot. That being said, Blizzard revealed the first major content update coming to Shadowlands. Chains of Domination will introduce a brand new area to the game, bringing with it a new raid, new mega dungeon, and all new campaign content. But they weren't done there, as they also announced that World of Warcraft Classic is receiving an update, bringing back the Burning Crusade expansion, which will be included with no additional purchase. No release date was given for either, but they should both be on the way soon. And now for a game that I actually know a little bit about. Hearthstone is receiving the first expansion for the Year of the Griffin, which is called Forged in Barrens. On its release, they will be updating the standard format to include these new cards, as well as a mix of basic, classic, and wild cards which will rotate in and out over time, the rest of them being relegated into the wild format under the Legacy set. Forged in Barrens will be launching later this year for $50 or $80 for the Mega Bundle. Alright, and now it's demon slaying time. Diablo received various updates, including the official announcement of the long-rumored Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is a complete overhaul of the original and will be coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC later this year. The classic gameplay will be accentuated by a number of improvements, such as more space for loot, sharing your stash between characters, and of course the graphics have received a major upgrade. But that wasn't all of the Diablo news, as we also got the first look at the Rogue class coming to Diablo 4. While the game isn't scheduled to drop until next year, it seems to be coming along rather nicely, and will surely be one of the biggest games of 2022. And now on to the real meat of this video, Overwatch 2. While not present in the opening ceremony, it was given a 40-minute long behind-the-scenes breakdown by the devs where they revealed a whole bunch of new information which I'm about to break down for you. Before I do, however, it's important to note that Blizzard stressed that not every change they announced will be shipping in its current form, as the game is constantly evolving within the studio. With that being said, let's get into what they did share. First off, we gotta look at 2 brand new maps coming to the game, Rome and New York City. Both maps do a great job at evoking the feel of the cities while bringing their uniquely Overwatch vibes into the mix. Both of these maps will be available in PvP, although it wasn't revealed which modes they'll be playable in. Speaking of PvP, they went over a bunch of changes to the classic Overwatch formula, the first being a better look at the game's first new character, Sojourn. She's a DPS character who uses a railgun which requires accurate placement of shots, which Blizzard said is meant to evoke the classic feeling of shooters. She looks like an absolute blast to play, and Blizzard has also revealed that she's a favorite amongst the devs. As for wider changes to PvP, each character class will now have passive abilities. Tanks will now have a reduction in knockback and will generate less ult when shooting at them. DPS characters will have increased movement speed, and support characters will slowly regen health over time. Next, they detailed how hero missions will work. If you've never played a hero mission in the original Overwatch, these are basically replayable co-op challenges where you have to complete various objectives with your team while leveling up your heroes. They revealed that every existing map will be home to these missions, as well as new play spaces within them. There's going to be hundreds of hero missions, though it wasn't clear if that's at launch or over time. The maps will all dynamically change and react to a day-night cycle, so while it could be a clear night in King's Row, there could be a sandstorm happening at the Temple of Anubis, or a snowstorm in Toronto. This is an attempt to bring replayability and also help different heroes become more or less useful depending on the situation. Speaking of heroes, we got the first official look at the redesigns for McCree, Pharah, Reaper, and Widowmaker. They also detailed how the all-new skill trees will affect the gameplay. Each character will be given 3 separate trees with 7 skills each, all based around different playstyles, allowing you to pick and choose skills based on how you want each character to play. This has allowed them to go in and make daring new changes, such as bringing back Mercy's AoE Resurrect, giving Junkrat dual grenade launchers, or changing the elemental effects of various attacks. They also showed off a bunch of new enemy types, as well as new technology for how these enemies will interact with each other in large groups, showing off some awesome chain reactions that are sure to spice things up in the final release. And speaking of spicing things up, they also detailed how the audio is being completely reworked to help accentuate the gameplay better. Lastly, they gave us a pretty good look at what we can expect from the campaign. The story will revolve around a second Omnic uprising which will force our heroes back into action. Each mission will feature cinematic intros and outros with seamless cuts to gameplay. Each story mission is set in a custom-built map, so even when revisiting locations that we're used to, they'll be completely different and were described as, quote, massive. The hero lineup for each mission was also confirmed to not be set in stone, so there will be some level of choice going into the story content. This mode is probably the biggest addition to Overwatch 2, and I can't wait to jump into the story when the game launches in 2022. Alright, and that was everything you need to know about the announcements made at Blizzconline. Let me know down in those comments what your favorite reveal was. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye!